Welcome. I'm Bob Schutz from the John Paul II Healing Center. And I want to focus today on the divisions that we're seeing all around us in society and even in the church. Just seems to be a divisive spirit, and I literally mean that, a spirit of division. In fact, the very notion of the word devil means divider, opposer, separator. And we see that going on in our society. We just see uh, racial division, uh, political division, religious division, uh, division within the church between one camp and another camp. It just division is everywhere around us, and I think it's more than just where we are in our cultural values. I think it's a spiritual reality that we really need to look at and face. So I want to talk about how do we heal the wounds of division. We actually have that as a centerpiece of the sacrifice of the Mass. The whole meaning of the Mass is Jesus' sacrifice to break down the walls of division. Now, Jesus did say, I came not to bring peace but a sword, to set mother and father against each other and other members of the family. But what he's saying there is there are people who can reject my peace, but I am the Prince of Peace. I'm the source of unity. And so as we find our identity and our life in Jesus and live that out in a very practical way, we can begin to heal the wounds of division. And starting within ourselves. I mean, the greatest division is within us. Uh, Many of us are divided within ourselves. We stand in judgment and condemnation of ourselves. We live in shame and lack of integration. And so if we're going to heal the wounds of division, the places where we're personally not integrated, not whole, that healing needs to take place. Because my experience has been whenever I am in judgment of myself or condemning myself or not in freedom in an area of my life, I'm likely to play that out in my relationships with other people, to turn that into judgments and perceptions of other people that's distorted. I don't see them then from a vantage point of love. And love is what heals division. It's the only thing that heals division. It's Jesus' love. It's the kind of love that offers itself in mercy and compassion, even in the face of others' faults, even in disagreements. And so we see Jesus both standing very true to what he believes and allows people to reject him and disagree with him without compromising what he believes. But at the same time, he reaches out across divides. He reaches out across racial division. He reaches out across religious division. He reaches out to people across the boundaries of the camps of society, and he's even criticized for that, for eating with tax collectors and sinners. But he says, this is why I came, and this is why we are here too. You know, early on when people would celebrate Mass in the early centuries, we see in the book of Acts the community that's there, the love that's there, the one heart and the one mind that's there. It wasn't there wasn't division, but there was a clear sense of unity and communion. And as the centuries unfolded, people would leave Mass and bring what they brought to Mass, their offering, their gifts, to bring it into the community, to serve the community. And it wasn't just for other people who believed, it was for everybody. There was just this generosity of heart and this sense of living the reality of the sacrifice of the Mass and the purpose of the Mass, which is to break down those dividing walls, to establish the unity between people. So how do we do that in a practical way? First and foremost, as I said, is our own peace with Christ. But then bringing that peace of Christ into relationships. One of the ways we do that is by becoming aware of the judgments that we have towards others, towards other groups, prejudices towards other groups, or prejudice towards other parties, or prejudices towards other religious views. And while we can disagree, and disagree strongly and with a lot of passion, that disagreement needs to be in love, not in condemnation, not in all kind of accusation and disruption, because we just see it spreading and manifesting. And Jesus always returns truth and goodness in the face of deception and hatred. That's the nature of who he is. And so that's the nature of who we are called to be, is to be ministers of reconciliation, as it says in 2 Corinthians 5, that we're called to be ministers of reconciliation, starting with our own hearts in relation to God, with the members of our family, no matter how much we disagree or ways that they've hurt us, that our love can heal those wounds. And then when we get stuck in judgments, even in our family with relationships, that those judgments create division, and we need to repent and renounce of those divisions. We need to bring those to confession and be humble before God with those areas. And then across the church, Jesus came for one bride. He didn't come for a harem. So all the divisions in the church are not his doing. The divisions within each church in different viewpoints is not his doing. And we may believe that we're just holding on to the truth, but in holding on to the truth, it needs to be in a sense of seeing the dignity of the other, even the other that we disagree with. Even in the political arena, I mean, the political divisions have become so heated, and we can vehemently disagree with some of the things that are being done. But how do we treat the people? How do we look at the people? Are we the cause of the division? Or is the cause of the division just those who refuse to submit to the truth of the gospel? And if we can stay solidly surrendered and submitted to the truth, not as champions of the truth who lord it over others, but submitted to living the truth ourselves, that the heart of that truth is the gospel of love and obedience to Christ. And so that's what really heals division. So I encourage you, let's be on the side of healing the division, first within ourselves, within our families, within our church community, and then across religious boundaries, across racial boundaries, and across political boundaries, to love people who are different than us, love people that disagree with us, still holding true to who we are. God bless you.